Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with If I Could Only Choose One Recording by Artist X, it would have to be recording Pi, whatever it is, recording Y, W, Z, whatever you want to do, pick one. Well, some of you have been talking about this series like, oh, you're only doing conductors, you're just doing violinists or pianists, you're not going to do, kazooists or accordionists. Well, yes, I am. I'm going to do everything. And I'm going to do singers. And I'm going to do singers fully aware of the fact that some of the opera crazies may dip their toes in. And so don't worry. I will be pulling the trigger on deleting comments with extraordinary freedom and abandon whenever I'm talking about singers, because I'm going to have to. There's going to be much lunacy. And the singer I'm choosing is one who really attracts the nut jobs because it's fun. Let's see what happens anyway. It's Teresa Stratas. Yeah, Teresa Stratas. I know you all think, oh, well, you should do Maria Callas. You should do someone like really famous. You should do Pavarotti. Yeah, we'll get to them. We'll get to them. I want to do Teresa Stratas. Why? Because she's quite simply one of the most exciting, really exciting, thoughtful, intelligent, spontaneous, combustible, crazy singers that, the Met ever had, for sure. I mean, remember the big lawsuit where she sued the Met for firing her and she won a big settlement, and then she donated it back to the Met and said, to hell with my career, I don't care. I mean, that's Teresa Stratas. She was as nuts as they come and as brilliant as they come. She was very similar in some respects to Maria Callas in that she put every bit of blood and soul and piss and vinegar in her body into every role that she did, with the result that her voice started to fray. She started to lose her voice fairly early in her career because there was just no half measure or stopping her at all. Leontine Price always said that, her singing teacher taught her not to use the principle of her voice, to sing on the interest. In other words, to choose your roles carefully and to guard your instrument. I get that. And that doesn't mean that, she was cold and inexpressive, and far from it, but she was smart. Teresa Stratas had no concept of saving her principle. She burned through it like it was going out of style. And then she started doing, court viol and that stuff, because you could be a great singing actress. You didn't need to have a beautiful voice, particularly. So she was the Kunst diva par excellence, the intellectual, the brilliant diva. And the recording that represents her best, and you know what it is. You all know what it is. It's Lulu. The complete Lulu, featuring Pierre Boulez. There has never been a Lulu like Teresa Stratas. She is the Lulu to end all Lulus. I mean, there aren't that many operatic roles that allow her to display everything that she could be. And Lulu does that because she's on stage singing for 2.5, 3 hours. And, she starts out as a she's the ultimate operatic femme fatale. I mean, Salome is chump change next to Lulu. And she begins as a kept woman, a mistress, and someone living in, high fashion. And then as she proceeds to work her way through the various men in her life, all of whom die horribly, and go to prison and come out of prison and have her lesbian friendship with the Countess Geschwitz. And finally she gets killed by Jack the Ripper at the very end. I mean, it's the most extraordinary story. And then the fall from grace that happens to this woman, and the emotions and feelings that she expresses. Really, she is her ancestor, of course, is Carmen. That primeval female spirit, that men are attracted to as a moth to a flame. But she also has her own character, her need to be free, to do whatever she pleases, damn the consequences. I mean, it's such a juicy, juicy role. And it was perfect for the kind of singer that she was. And that's why this recording, won every award it's possible to win, and was such an amazing thing. And remember, it was also the first recording to include the completed third act, which never should have been incomplete because it is complete. It just needed to be sort of orchestrated and maybe a little bit filled in here and there, but it was basically complete. And this is a great performance. It's also one of Boulez's greatest recordings. Maybe not the one I'm going to use in this series of videos, but it's way up there. But if you want to hear one of the most powerful, affecting, smart, loony, spontaneous singers of the 20th century at her very best, then you've got to hear the Teresa Stratas Lulu if you haven't. I know a lot of you already have, but this was an easy call because there's nothing like this. It's one of those highlights in the career of any artist, and she did some other marvelous things. She was an amazing Neda in Pagliacci. She did the Il Trittico, some of that stuff, by Puccini. She had other roles that she could do, but this one was a world beater. It really was. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.